welcome to Within the Madness. This is the women's edition. This is also March 30th. We got Raymond Lyons here, Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpey Jr. As always, we're going to start off just a brief update for the late game from the night before. That was in the Mercado region. It was 3 Arizona taking on 4 Indiana. As we told you guys last night during, before we closed the show, whichever team won this game, it was going to be the first time in program history that either of these groups of young ladies in their program history cashed a ticket to the Final Four. Arian McDonald made sure it was her group. 33 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Mackenzie Holmes led Indiana with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. But Arizona's still dancing, man. They're moving on. I believe they're going to be taking on UConn in the Final Four. I might double check, but I believe that's who they're taking on.
Yeah.
The UConn at 9 on Friday. Somebody please double check that because
9:30 p.m. Yeah, Arizona, UConn. You right.
Thank you. That's gonna be the only thing I'm right about tonight. So let's everybody remember that. All right, quick update. The late game tonight was in the Alamo region. Stanford taking on Louisville. It's a 1-2 matchup. It's a really close game. It's 47-46 Louisville at the moment. We're lucky. Like, this is the second kind of big matchup that kind of felt like a Final Four matchup, a matchup that should have happened a little bit earlier because of, like we've mentioned several times, the women's selection committee chose violence, and you have 1-2s that feels like this happened a little too early. We had that with UConn Baylor. We don't know if this is going to end the same way, but we'll be looking forward to that. As far as earlier tonight, look, man, South Carolina for a reason. I know people keep screaming this, and this is coming from a UConn person. Like, UConn's UConn, but the last few years, look, man, they looking up at folks. South Carolina's been making noise. Baylor won in 2019. Some big teams been doing things during this time that Connecticut hasn't won anything. Just want to make sure people give those programs their proper due, proper respect during that time. Because programs like South Carolina's on a run. This is another Final Four they're going to. It's a big matchup today with Texas. And look, man, 62-34. They shut them out in the fourth quarter, 10-0, which, again, I'm going to say that again. They shut an opponent out in the fourth quarter of an Elite 8 game. Okay, but I'm going to fall back now. Mind my business. It's one of those good old hemisphere region contests. And let y'all talk about this while I get this clip ready.
Zia Cook, lead her too. Once again, guard play in the tournament. If you have elite guard play, you have a hell of an advantage. Zia Cook just tore Texas a new one in every way possible, defensively, running the team, scoring, making tough shots. She rotating and using her quickness and speed, getting in an open floor. She was just off the charts, man, and she set the tone throughout the game. And the thing I love about what she did leading the way, she didn't let South Carolina breathe. Like, we gonna keep our foot on their neck till they die, and that's not till it's all zeros. And that's how you see. Think about, when is the last time you saw any game where someone didn't score in the fourth quarter at any level? That just don't happen, man. And like you said, in the elite game, national TV, they have possibly the #1 overall pick, and they don't get a bucket in the fourth quarter. Speaking of possible #1 overall pick, Collier, she got outplayed by Boston. So I was looking forward to that matchup. I didn't know if they would cancel each other out or whatnot. Boston didn't have the best game. She was only 2 feet level, so I'm not gonna sit up here and say like Collier didn't do it, but she was made more impactful because Zia Cook. She found ways to get her involved and stuff like that. So I just felt like also South Carolina just had more. They had more one-on-one. One-on-one, make a play, get a bucket. Sometimes the game just come down to that, especially in college. I know it's systems and all that. But when it's time and, time to get a bucket, Dawn had a few ladies she can call up to go deliver. Texas was struggling trying to find one. So I felt like that was the game, but really the guard play and the tenacity, especially defensively, that South Carolina brought, I felt was obviously the major difference in the game.
Yeah, man, I feel like this is it's kind of like how we saw with Michigan and Florida State on the men's side a couple of days ago. You know, Florida State, they used to defensively overwhelming teams, but Michigan could handle it. And I mean, not only handle it, but excel against it. And same thing here. You know, they couldn't turn South Carolina over. They couldn't rush them. South Carolina, they still got everything they wanted. And then they put the defensive pressure on them. You know, like, you know, typically teams don't respond well when you give them a taste of their own medicine. And then also, you know, with how good Texas is, South Carolina was able to break them down. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not used to that. Like, they're not used to being on their heels. They're not used to not being able to impose their will on teams. So they just ran into a buzzsaw, man. And you know, with and Collier is usually an advantage for them, but Aaliyah Boston was just as physical, just as strong. You know, got her in foul trouble. She kept her off the floor for a lot of time. So, you know, you can't do damage when you on the bench. So yeah, man, kudos to them. And then I know a lot was being made of the Don Staley Vic matchup, but you know, Don got it done once again. You know, great job. Kudos to them. And you know, just happy to see them continue to succeed. But yeah, it got ugly, man. I didn't expect that.
Man, look, I'm still stuck on the fact that you played 10-minute quarters. Played a whole 10-minute quarter. You didn't accidentally get a free throw. Dog, a donut in and it's not like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a Cinderella team in one of the top schools. Like, it wasn't that. Like, 0. Man.
I actually, for one, I like it. That's defensive excellence. Even Dawn, like, you know what? I ain't even got much to say. Let's bring it in, team. That's it. I mean, what can she say? What can she say, dog? Like, we killed them. There ain't nothing you can say. I mean, what can you say, though? Maybe turnovers a little bit. Yeah, y'all, you know, we got to clean that up. Nah, man, they handle business, man. They dominated. So, shoot, look. I was kind of hoping for a Maryland South Carolina matchup. I don't even know they were ready for that, though. That was that experience, man. You know, South Carolina used to it, man. And,
yep.
You know, that stage is just another game for them at this point. And you see that stage as you get deep in the tournament with new teams that's experiencing for the first time. The lights getting bright. They like they can't see. They just tripping. So I think that's what happened with Texas.
And I just want to make sure I forgot to mention her name earlier. Leticia Amiri. This is like the second consecutive game where she stepped up. She's been providing nice impact for South Carolina. Quietly 10 points and 8 rebounds, but it's a talented young big and South Carolina's fine, man. Some good hands right now. And I know next year they got the top recruiting classes coming in too, but as they advance, man, that's a very hard out. It's a very, very hard out. So we're looking forward to the Final Four this weekend, eventually the national championship game. You guys had nothing else. We're going to close this and then get over to the men's side where, you know, the names are going to change, but I feel like the conversation is going to kind of remain the same to a degree.
0 for 16 in the fourth, dog.
Damn. That's, ooh.
0 for 16. That's tough. Yeah, I've never seen that. I'm just Dawn can't say nothing. I mean, she can't say nothing. She good. Like, move on. Let's prepare for the next game.
That bought you at least like half a day of coach not saying nothing to you. That's like a whole half a day where you can't say nothing till at least 2 p.m. Coach. Like,
yeah. Right.
Let us live, yo.
Like everybody sleeping is cool. Like 0. And like, what'd you say, Cardell? 16 shot attempts. So they got attempts up.
0 for 16 in the fourth. Man.
Oh, buddy.
My goodness. Yeah. Wow. No, I'm not even gonna say that, but y'all have a good one. We'll be back shortly within the madness, the men's edition. Got another lopsided game coming up. But it is what it is. Again, some people wanted to be prompt and punctual for their Final Four reservations. Some people, they showed up kind of late. South Carolina and Gonzaga. Nah, man, they've been they made the reservations quite a while ago. We'll make sure nothing got in the way. See you guys in a little bit.